user named Scented Nectar is going around now leaving very, very hateful comments to me. Basically, she's going around telling people that I am an illegal in Canada.
No, I said you might be an illegal in Canada. You even mentioned that you completely acknowledged I wrote two disclaimers. Something about, assuming you don't have dual citizenship, which you now say you do, and something about as far as I know. Well, even if I did outright, lie and say that you were definitely here illegally, that's not hate speech. It would be a mistake, but it wouldn't be hate speech. Hate speech would be something like, picking on a group of people because they're Chinese or Native American, something like that maybe. That would be a little closer to hate speech than what I did. Just saying.
Here, I'll read her comments. These comments were made today on a troll video by a user named Mustex. Now, granted, I am not on this comment section. She's commenting to me, but I'm not there.
Actually, Diana, you are there, in as much as the video had you in it, a picture of what you wrote in your blog about Chinese people. So if you think it wasn't on topic or it wasn't about you, I don't know where you get that from. Didn't you actually see the video?
This is what she writes. Diana, who is a U.S. citizen as far as I know, is now in my country, Canada, illegally. Unless she has dual citizenship, she must leave after stupidly quitting her job. Without an employer sponsoring her anymore, she is supposed to apply to come here like everyone else. She is picking on people who are here legitimately and pretending she is Canadian-based on speaking Bostonian English as opposed to Chinese English. Go home, Diana. Here's the second comment. In one of my videos, I talked about, or my blog post, I talked about Canadians being very laid back, especially in Eastern Canada, where I lived for about a year. She writes, "We're such laid back people."
Which was a quote of you, by the way. You didn't specify that.
You're not one of us Canadians. We don't want you. Stop pretending you're one of us. Go home. Not that the U.S. wants you either, I imagine. And the third comment, when she was told that I wasn't even on that comment section, is this one. Yeah, but she'll show up here like a bloodhound on its own menstrual trail. The fucking nerve.
I guess that kept her away.
Just so that she can pick on other immigrants. I don't mind the illegality. I even harbored a Vietnam draft dodger in '79 for a while. It's just her that we don't need here, I do feel bad about telling her to go back to the U.S., where some of you are my friends, though. That feels unfair, too. Those three comments were left on a video, a troll video done by Mustex, where, again, I was not on that.
That's hateful of you to call someone a troll.
When she realized that she could speak to me on that comment section, she went to a friend of mine's video and left another hateful comment similar to the ones that I just read off to you. Scented Nectar. There is a clause in YouTube, in the Safety Center, that says that you are not allowed to use hate speech against any nationality.
Wow, Diana, you're in trouble then, because, what you did with Native American stuff, the word Indian giver that you used, with it being exposed all over YouTube, what you said about Chinese Canadian people, let's see now, wow, what did I do? Mentioned some potential illegal thing you did. Having an opinion on that sort of thing isn't considered a hate speech or, a crime of any sort. It's an opinion on a potential crime. And I was even letting you know I don't have a bad opinion about that too. There's a lot of circumstances where I'm completely okay about, people, being here illegally, you know, it's pretty much just you that, you know, is, that I consider undesirable here. Really, Canada doesn't need any more cosmetic clerks that are a bitch to people. Maybe cosmetic clerks that are nice people to everyone else, that, I'm fine with that, but, you know, ones that are a bitch to people who are here legitimately and have struggled hard to immigrate here legitimately, you know, as well as being a bitch to the people who are most legitimately here, Native Americans. I mean, come on, Diana. Fuck.
And since you have done so now 4 times, every single one of your comments has been reported to YouTube.
Great. If you feel there is something wrong with what I did, report it, and if they agree, they'll take them down or something, you know, whatever. That's, you know, that's pretty much the correct way to deal with this sort of thing, you know. You know, if you really feel there's something awful that has happened here.
When you tell me to go home, I am home.
Well, I mean, that's unfortunate, but okay. I mean, I'll accept your word on it that you're, you know, you're here. You're, you know, here in my country. You know, it's a, you know, it's a big country though. What the fuck, right? But, you know, really, you know, I kind of, you know, think, well, I don't feel comfortable sending you anywhere else either, though. I mean, come on, really, insisting you go back to the States. That's mean to the people in the States, and they even have more people than us here in Canada. So, wouldn't it be more fair that we keep you here? I mean, I hate to, you know, I mean, but, wow, I hate to be in the country that has to have you, but, you know, really, it's probably more fair, you know.
I am legally in Canada.
Okay. Gotta put up with that. I'll deal with it. Okay, say something.
I can't believe, in all the years that I've been in Canada, you are the first person, the first Canadian to act like that.
What, you mean not as awful as, you mean I didn't act as awful as some kinds of insulting types of speech, like, I don't know, racist speech, you know, against people who have immigrated here to Canada without English being their native language? How about hateful, insulting speech about Native Americans, you know, who are not even immigrants? I mean, what the, you know, what, Diana, you got something wrong with you. Fuck.
Never in my entire 16 years have I come across a Canadian who thinks that this is her country.
You know, I live here. It's my country. Yeah. What do you mean? You know, I'm going to be a little protective over the country I live in. You know, considering I like it. If I lived in the States, I'd, you know, I'd probably like that too, mostly, and you know, be protective over that too. But really, Diana, it's more a matter of, rather than me being all, you know, uptight about, you know, who's living where, from where, or something like that, because that's not really the issue here. It's more a matter of your hypocrisy. You know, that here you are picking on immigrants when you yourself potentially, well, it turned out not to be true, but potentially were, you know, yourself here from a different country, the U.S. Actually, I mean, that part was true, okay, but you're here legally too, just like they are here legally. However, that doesn't, just because you speak English better than your fellow immigrants to this country, just because you speak English a little better than some of them, doesn't mean you get to pick on them. That's ridiculous. And then there's all the other issues you brought up where you decided that any white people you didn't like must be white trash, to separate them away from the good kind of white people, I guess, which is you? I don't know. I mean, what are you saying here, you know? Come on, you know. Fuck, what's with all this shit? That post had a whole shitload of stuff. I'm going to include it in the video, in fact, and maybe I'll go over it, because, like, you know, there's, like, the Chinese stuff was only just part of it, really.
And that she has a right to tell people who belong in it and who don't. I also want to let you know that over the last few hours, I've lost Canadian subs too.
I'm not going to be responsible for you losing other people's subs. You and them are responsible for your own interactions between the two of you. If anyone bases their opinions on my opinions of you, while it's always a nice thing to have people agree with one, I'm not insisting or even going to hope that other people are going to take on my opinions of you. They can reach their own. I'm pretty sure that anyone who's unsubbing to you has probably their own good reasons.
Not only that, but apparently you've not read the criminal code. Section 319.1 and 319.2
Does not apply.
You should read up on. Because if YouTube doesn't take down your comments, or if you don't take them down, on Friday, I'm going to walk 2.5 blocks up to my lawyer, and you're going to find out just how Canadian I am. Because I'm not going to tolerate your hate speech. And that's what it is. It's hate speech. You've been trying to...
Diana, save your money. Well, I don't really care, actually. But it doesn't apply as hate speech here. You don't have the right to not be offended. I incited no hate, no violence. I did not pick on any group. Are you saying I'm trying to pick on people who potentially, and I did put disclaimers in it, by the way, I didn't accuse you of definitely being any kind of here illegally. It turned out you were here illegally. Well, so you say. I'm going to just take your word for it, I mean, whatever. Because that's the issue I don't really care about much. The issue I care about is the hateful stuff you've been doing. The stuff you've been saying is way, way, way more applicable to the code you're citing than anything I've said. Mine doesn't even apply. Yours actually could. But don't worry, they're not going to probably use that against you either. You really have to go a lot further than even what you said before, legally it would count as hate speech under the criminal code.